Exodus, Gods and Kings. It's a 2014 drama inspired by the Bible. Now, I've always said this, but I'll just say it once more for those who didn't hear me before. When someone is rendering remarks about a film that's based on a Bible, there are no spoilers unless you haven't been to Sunday school. So for the benefit of all you heathens, I'll give you the short and the skinny. All right, here it is. Of course, the story of the prophet Moses has been told before. In popular culture, film buffs often refer to the film as having been deemed the most popular film of all time, and that would be Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments with Charles Heston, playing the part of Moses. So, going in, any director would face a certain level of intimidation, but I feel director Ridley Scott made this film his own. Ridley Scott reveals that Moses faced many domestic issues. He leaves his wife to fulfill his spiritual mission, and his wife says, what kind of God would ask a man to leave his wife? So she thinks he's crazy, right? As a lot of prophets and religious people often go through these trials where people don't believe them and they doubt, their faith. These people are very steadfast in what they believe, but unfortunately everyone around them doesn't always believe or have that same level of faith. So of course they don't believe everything that, might be legit. They think he might be a little, cuckoo. Right. So she tries to talk him down, tries to talk him out of this idea of leading these people away, saying that maybe he hit his head. So therefore, maybe, he's not thinking properly. But Moses goes ahead and does what he feels God has asked him to do. People are still ridiculing him. He has a brother who introduces him as Uncle Moses, who was once the Prince of Egypt. So the director Ridley Scott highlights the scrutiny that the believers face in the midst of the non-believers. All right. So eventually the entire movie moves to the climax, the iconic scene, which is the slaves, of course, crossing the Red Sea. All right. So this film is visually beautiful. The colors are vibrant. The big screen showcases the epic nature of the film, along with the eloquent cast and crew. The music is also nice, and the film has been criticized for being too dramatic, frequent overacting, too much mascara on a guy's eyes, a whole litany of things. But who cares about that? I mean, if you go to New York to the Natural Museum of History, I'm trying to remember, probably didn't say that right. But anyway, there's museums in New York that show hieroglyphics and, drawings, ancient drawings. And these guys had on makeup, so maybe that's the way they looked. The costumes were wonderful. I heard some giggles when Christian Bale was yelling his lines. People must remember that this actor must be seen as talented beyond The Dark Knight. I mean, he's done he has a great portfolio of work. But people know you from your most popular work. Of course, people know him from Dark Knight when he played Batman for Christopher Nolan's movies. He would always be scrutinized. Had he not played Batman, of course, people would look at him a little differently. But this is fine. Exodus, Gods and Kings is a 2014 dramatic action film inspired by the Bible. It's directed by Ridley Scott. It stars Christian Bale as Moses. Okay, he's a Batman fame to many young people, but he's done a lot of other stuff. Okay, so Sigourney Weaver, people love her in Aliens. She just will never outlive that role. So great. Same director, by the way. All right, so Ben Mendelson, John Turtorro, Aaron Paul, and Ben Kingsley. So this film was criticized for not having enough Middle Eastern talent. Some people were insulted that they didn't have as many Middle Eastern actors as they should. Ridley Scott did address this in one of his interviews, and he says, and most people who know anything about the movie business understand this, that the studios wouldn't approve people with no names, or maybe they had a name, but they weren't as big as some of these stars that he has in this movie. So therefore, he couldn't just choose whomever he wanted. You know, he didn't have that kind of freedom to do that. They would only approve the funding if he had certain stars in it, you know, more or less to guarantee a box office draw. Okay, so the movie was good, all right? So 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Exodus, Gods and Kings, easily comes in at a 3.5. You will enjoy it. Sit back and just eat your popcorn and have fun. All right, so go see it. If you like that type of film, if you like the biblical films and faith-based films, you will enjoy it. You have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend. God bless. Renee Stanley for Movie Review Relay.